Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Firstly, I'd like to apologize for not uploading for more than a year, and that has been a really long time, but I will try my best to upload at least one video per month from now onwards, and hopefully you'll get a lot of new exciting content. In today's video, we'll be doing episode number 3 of Let's Explore Scratch, the series, where we'll be focusing on the sound category of blocks, where we have a bunch of different blocks, and I'll be teaching you what each one does and how you can change the pitch and the volume and how loud the sound is. I'll also be teaching you how to edit the sounds, make it slower, louder, softer, and all these different options, how to add new sounds, record sounds, and a bunch of different stuff you can do, and utilize sounds to the maximum in this video. So let's get started. I'm going to get started with showing you how you can edit through sounds and make it slower, faster, louder, softer, or literally anything. And that you can do by going to the Sounds tab, which is over here. Now, once you reach the Sounds tab, you should be able to get a screen just like this with a default sound already added by default. And now you have an option over here, and this option is how we'll be adding new sounds. So by clicking on this option, you will have a bunch of different sounds, and these are a part of the Scratch sound library, but you can also add your own sounds. When you hover over this button, you have 4 different options. One is obviously choose a sound, which takes you back to the Scratch sound library, but the other ones are pretty unique. First one is record. Using this, you can record a sound. As you can see, this is the volume, and you can record by clicking on this button. The next option is surprise, which chooses a random sound from the Scratch sound library. As you can see, I got oops. Let's go ahead and delete that. How do you delete a sound? There's a bin icon over here, and you can just click on that. The last and final option is upload sound, and it will take you to your file explorer, and from over there you can choose any sound you like, which has to be downloaded on your PC. Alright, that is on how you can add new sounds and basically the surprise sounds, record sounds, etc. But now I'm going to show you how to make these sounds faster and all these different features over here that are included in the whole sound editing part. So let's get started. To play your sound, you have this button over here that plays your sound. But firstly, I'm going to get started with the top. The top is renaming your sound, and here you can rename your sound to anything you want. I'm just going to name a cat. You can make it go back as well. You can name your sound anything you want, and that will also change the name over here. Oh, one more thing, the one over here represents the sound number. That is a pretty handy tool that comes, or not really a tool, it's a serial number that helps you organize your sounds through. And over there you have the sound icon, the volume icon, the bin icon, which lets you delete the sprite, the name, and then there's this number over here which represents the duration of your sound. In this case it is 0.85. Okay, let's go back to what comes after the name of the sound. You have 2 arrow buttons over here, and in case you're wondering, it's quite obvious, it's the redo and undo button. For example, if you make this faster, you click faster, that essentially makes the sound faster, like its name. If you want to go back to your original sound, you just have to click on this button, which is the undo button. So you click on that, it'll go back to the old sound. If you want it to go back to the old sound, as in the faster sound, you click on redo. Let's make it go back. Alright, so after that you have copy, where you can select any part of your sound and copy it, and you can paste it in the same sound itself. I feel like that's really cool. Too much of that sound, I'm really sorry about that, but I feel like it's really cool to be able to copy sounds and paste it. So if you want to double the sound, the length, the duration, you can just click on copy and paste. Now what if you want to copy that duration to a completely new sound? Select that and click on copy to new, which will help you copy it to a new sound. As you can see from 1, we have serial number 2, and we have it, the sound name, it's renamed. So remember we selected a part up here. Yeah, that selected part is that selected part is basically the constituent of this particular sound. Now this, as you can see, has another number 0.839. That is the duration of this sound. You can once again rename it to whatever you want, and yeah. Alright, so after that you have delete. For delete, that is another handy tool. You can select a part of it and delete. Alright, so that's the top part of this. Now what about the bottom part of it? You have play sound, you have faster, which makes the sound faster, slower, which makes the sound slower, louder makes it louder. As you can see, it's getting louder. Softer to make it softer, it'll get softer. And mute to just completely mute the sound, you don't get a sound. Fade in to essentially make it go a bit lower, like it fades in, it goes from lower to a bit more of a higher sound, and fade out to make it go from a higher to a lower sound. So that's fade in and fade out. They're really cool sound effects which you can experiment with by yourself. Now after fade in and fade out, you have reverse. Now reverse is essentially just reversing the sound. So this part of the sound goes on that side and that part of the sound comes on this side. Let's check it out. As you can see, it's been reversed. Now robotic is to make the sound a bit more robotic, another cool effect which you can check out by yourself. Alright, so that is it with the sound, with utilizing on how you can utilizing the sound editing feature of Scratch, which is really cool because you do not need a separate editor to edit the sounds. You have one in Scratch itself. So that is the sounds tab. Let's go back to the code tab and get started with the blocks. Alright, with the blocks, the first block we have is play sound, the given sound with the drop down option until done. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to go all the way to the sound tab, hover on sound, record. Scratch really makes it feasible by just clicking on the drop down option and clicking on record and recording the sound on spot. And that is really cool. So what play sound essentially does is, I'm going to choose another sound right now. Okay, we'll just go with a bass. There you go. You play the sound. It plays the whole sound and plays sound until done. By its name itself, it plays the whole sound until it is done. Now the next sound block we have is start sound. Now you must be like, what's the difference between both of these blocks? Well, I'll get started over here. The until done sound plays the entire sound no matter what from start to end. As you can see, there's a duration of 1.28 seconds. It plays the entire 1.28 seconds. However, the start sound, it just starts the sound. It doesn't necessarily have to play until done, it just starts it. But you can only know the real difference if they're put within forever loops, which we find in the control category of Scratch. So let's put them both under forever loops, and what this block essentially does is just plays or execute whatever blocks in this loop forever until this stop button is clicked. So this one just plays the whole sound continuously. So first it plays the entire 1.28 seconds, then it stops. Then again plays the whole 1.28 seconds. However, this one just starts the sound. It doesn't complete the sound. So the main difference is the completion of sound. And that is how we can differentiate between the two blocks. Stop all sounds, by its name itself, you can understand that it stops all sounds. Alright, let's go to this block, change pitch, which is the drop down option, effect by 10. So it can change the pitch, it can make it higher or lower by 10 or minus 10, whatever you want. You can just enter the value over here. So it can change the pitch by that particular value over here. The next block we have a set pitch. This one changes the effect, like changes it by 10, like 10, 20, 30. But this one just sets it. It doesn't change the pitch. It's set to 100, so it stays 100 throughout the entire program. So that is change pitch, but if you click on the drop down option, you have pan left or right. What does this block do? This drop down option do? Essentially, for wearing headphones, when you're listening to music, you hear some music coming from the right side of your headphones, the speaker on the right, and then some part of it from the speaker on the left. So that is essentially pan left or right. Left meaning negative, so over here -10, it'll pan towards left, and right positive. So that is change, and this is again changing it, not setting it. And this one also has the drop down option of pan left or right. Once again, it can be negative or positive depending on which side you want the sound or the pan effect to take place. Clear sound effects clears every single sound effect. It makes it go back to the original sound. Suppose you change the pitch to make it higher by 10. If this block is clicked, it makes the sound come back to the normal state. So that is clear sound effects. Then we have change volume. By its name itself, a negative is making it lower and positive is making it higher. So this is louder, negative is lower. So changing the volume. And then there's set volume. Again, change is changing it by 10, -10, whatever. So it'll be 10, 20, 30. This one is just setting the volume to 100%. And after that, we have a small variable over here. It's not essentially, you can drag it down. You can put it between different operators, like logical operators or rational operators like this. You can check. You can use it in if statements after putting it in the operator. You can, it's really cool because if you click on the text box, you can see the volume just over here, and you get to know what's the volume of sound. And you can also decrease, there are certain, like you can put a button over here and decrease it, and then you can probably see the volume. If you right click on it, you have 3 different options. Hide is just hiding it. Large readout is just making it a little more nicer, and normal readout is just like this. Now, what you want to note is that each sprite has its own volume. So as you can see, the name of the sprite is the next to volume. So in this case is cat. And if you show the Andy's volume, you can see Andy volume 100. So that's this text box option of volume. Really useful in games and when you want to change the sound effects. So yeah, that's basically this block. So that's it with the video, that's it with the sound categories. In the next video, we'll definitely be looking through events, which is another very interesting topic or category of blocks, and we still have control, sensing, operators, variables to go. My blocks is there's already a video made on my blocks. I will link that in the description below. It isn't included in the playlist yet, but I will include it after each and every category of blocks is done because my blocks is the last category and I made a video of it earlier, so I thought I'll just put it at the end of the playlist. So that's it with the sound category. Once again, I'm really sorry for not uploading often, but I will try my best to upload more videos, or at least one video per month. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.